as there's a bit going on with this bike, I'm going to have to sort of swap the electrical cable over. Normally it runs in that hole with, sort of underneath on the other side, but I'm going to change it over to this side. That's normally the fuel hoses here, but I have the fuel hoses coming out the other side. So I've got to take this or that in through that little hole there. Hopefully I can, and then I'll deal with it. Now this is a 6-volt hole, and normally right there the coil would be on the inside, but because I'm putting a 12-volt system, it's a 12-volt wiring harness on a 6-volt bike. This is a Postie bike battery box, a later CDI model one, and it works, it fits, but there's no room on the other side, so that's why I've got building all the electronics on the other side, and I hope to run this through there and around and do whatever I've got to do. I don't really know. It's a little difficult because it's not a bike I've pulled apart and just sort of just doing bits. It's pieces that I bought, and I'm trying to make a bike out of it, so I can do whatever I want in that respect, and that's the way I'm going to do it. That's it. With any luck, this will be the last time I put that motor in and out of the bike, in the frame. I've got the frame all in the hole. Whoops, let's move back. That doesn't go there, it'll go along the bottom. But I've got it tucked in that hole there. I've got the battery, the starter motor lead, and the 2 fuels coming out that side. All the wires just temporarily shoved in there for now. So hopefully I'll put these two together, and it'll be the last time that I do it. Because up until now they've been coming apart all the time. It's taken a while, but I finally got the wiring done. What I did for the bulk of the wiring that runs through the main body, I got this stuff here from J-Car, and then there's this flexible stuff that you then slide over if you want to, and then just, that shrinks as well. So the bulk of the wiring's running through there, just held, and I've run it through that hole there. Every single connector fits through that hole, so it must be made for it. The other end is just coming out here, that'll go in. I am not including any of this wiring, all the handlebar stuff that I'll have going on, like, because I have plenty of stuff going on for the boost gauge and all that sort of stuff, so I'll run that separately, so if something goes wrong with that, it's easy access, so I don't have to mess around with the standard wiring. But coming out here, I've got a big fat lead for the starter motor, because this one runs the starter motor. Because I've got a big fat lead for the starter motor, I have to have one for an earth. Tail light, the coil will be on the other side, so that'll run through the coil. Ordinary earth, what'll be there? That'll be the rectifier, power, indicators, CI unit, and more power. So, and there is also one that runs off here that used to be for the kill switch, but I've got now that running over there. So, and I'll go around and do the other side in a second. So just let you know the basics of what I've got going on for the wiring. Now I'll get specific to each individual part I'm doing. As you know, the water pump has 2 wires, just a positive, a power wire and an earth. So that runs through, and I'll show you what I've done with that. That will power the water pump. Now, to turn the water pump on and off, I need a solenoid. So this is the switch for that solenoid. Now, there was a little problems with that. I didn't realise at the time that I needed an earth, and this thing is designed to be shoved in an engine block. There it gets its earth. So in here it's rubber both sides, so it's not going to get an earth unless it supplies one. This one here is a separate thing. That's just a temperature gauge they'll have on the dash, tell me the water temperature. This is just an on-off switch at 80 degrees, 85 degrees. So what I had to do is get one of these type of things and just drill it a little bit bigger, and then I tapped it to the same size as that, screwed it on. It didn't go all the way, filled it in between there with solder, and then made a plug out of it. So that now has its own earth with it, so that'll just screw in there, go underneath about there and through the other side. So I'll go around the other side and show you what it looks like with the cover on. And there's enough going on in there to keep curious eyes busy. So we'll move over the other side. On the other side, these two wires come through. That's from the switch and that's from for the water pump. They come through in this bit of conduit that goes between the side cover and the cowling. That conduit. Then they come out here. One goes. The white one is the switch. The blue one is the power for the water pump. So in other words, and there's earths to each one as well. So in other words, the switch goes click, I'm 85 degrees. It goes to this. Then this then sends more heavy duty power through to the water pump. This heavy duty cable is thicker than what goes through the on-off switch. So I will try it for now, routing it through, just, I turn the key on and this system's powered. Not that it's going to be used, but hopefully because that's got to carry a lot of things. So I'll try that for now, see if it works. If it doesn't work, I can just directly power it to the battery, which just means it's hot all the time, and that's not my preferred system. So that's all that it is for the water pump. It's just the switch over there tells that solenoid, yes, I've reached 85 degrees. It goes click, sends major power through to the water pump. That way I don't have to use the little sensor over here to run an earth through that sensor. I can just tell that power's on, power's off. So that's that one. Now, because this one runs electric start, that big power one I had on the other side, well, that comes out this side now, up along here, into the solenoid, and then this one goes along here, out of the solenoid, and plugs into the starter motor, which is just there. So that's that. But to tell the solenoid to activate, there's this here, which I wired into this, but this has a power and an earth, and the earth means that when the battery keys turn on, this lights up, and so it's always on. Just a little LED in there. It's an engine start. I've texturized it a little bit to make it look old like the rest of the bike, and that goes along in here from this plug, tells the solenoid to activate, and then there's additional power here for that system. That's the power, and that's the earth for it. So I've got starter system, the water system, the coil wire comes out from the wiring harness, goes into the coil. These four here are the normal four that you would have for any key system. That's the ignition, earthed out, the motor's not going, plus the earth's used for other things. That's the power directly from the battery, that when the key's on, it powers all the lights and stuff like that. So this is here, there's a fuse in the system. The fuse will tuck underneath there. The wires sort of wrap around and all tuck away inside. There's not a lot of room because this is the borderline. I've got to get it all basically from there, but it all fits in there, and I'll show you a picture in a second when that's on.